Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Trader Minute. Thanks for tuning in this afternoon. I'm Carl, and on for the top three today. The market's pulled back a little bit, down about 3.5 right now. Let's go take a look at the top three today. So, first one I got for you. One thing, just a little disclaimer about today's top three. Tomorrow's a Fed announcement. Okay. That could move these stocks any which way. Just never know what's going to happen on that announcement tomorrow. So, that's just a disclaimer going into this because I just wanted to show you some really nice setups today. Even talked about not doing it, but I wanted to show you some really good setups today, regardless of the Fed announcement. But just keep that in mind if you're looking at these trades that we do have that Fed announcement tomorrow at afternoon at 2 o'clock Eastern time. So the first one is CF Industries. This is a trend rider bull signal. So if I zoom in on that a little bit for you. What we got here is the averages. Sorry, I mean all the averages rising as typical on this type of a trade. You can see we've also got some uptrending indicators. You can't see that MACD down there on your screen, but it's going up here the last 3 weeks. The MACD's been doing pretty well. Now it's had some technical action here, and we always talk about how whenever you see a big gap and run like that, don't usually trade that. Wait for an opportunity for it to settle down a little bit, and then try to play it higher. Well, we've got that opportunity here. Big run up to about over 235 towards 240, all the way back here to 225. Got a dragonfly yesterday at a bottom here, which is a good signal. Seeing follow through today. It's a good looking technical setup. I would put this back up here towards the highs, around the 237 range, up towards the 240 mark is where I'd put this stock here in the next while. So CF, and then a stock that hasn't been brought up here a lot recently is Netflix. Netflix today is showing a trend rider, a bull vibe signal. Oh, let's try that again. So Netflix, you can see all the averages rising that we want. Overall, we got some uptrending indicators here the last little while, for about the last month or so. You can see the indicators rising. A push up above 370, gets away from the 7 here, comes back the last 2 days, and today pushing back up off that level. This is a variation. It's not a perfect three method rising candle pattern, but it's a variation of it where you get a nice Maribozu. Comes down a little bit, and then another push up today, closing higher than that opening candle right there, just above 370. That's confirmation that the stock's is going to run up as well. So you got a candle pattern. Also have a bull vibe signal here. The volumes, if you look at them, they're not that strong, but again, you don't necessarily need those strong volumes on bull vibe signals. It's nice. It adds a little bit more to it if you get them, but you don't always need them. It's some very nice technical action going on here. I'd put this up into the 385 to 390 range. You know, this thing's up $10 today. To go up to 390, it wouldn't take that very long. All right, and then the last one is, okay, now this is an ETF, a semiconductor ETF. Not a bad time of year for these guys. Got a nice technical setup here. This is another bull vibe. These are all bull vibe signals. Getting a lot of those today. I looked at trend rider signals. There was some out there. The trend rider bears, Delta Airlines was showing one, but they had some news today. You know, this one of their airplanes ran off a runway. That could just be a knee-jerk reaction. It wasn't. No one was injured or anything like that. It looked like it just, a car going off the side of the road. It was an airplane going off the side of the taxi lane. So I wouldn't trust anything like that. But indicators have been rising here recently. You can see also on the MACD, the bottoms have been getting higher and higher along here as well. A nice push up here today. Past resistance for this was right about that level. You can see it all through here. Well, it's pushing up through that today. Started below the 7, even reversed a little bit to run and turn positive here this afternoon up towards the 41.5 mark. I'd put this up into the $43 range, $42.05 to $43 range. Another nice looking technical setup. Okay, so that's the top three. We had CF Industries, CF, and then Netflix, and then SMH that we're looking at right here. Some runner-ups, and I was watching this one this morning. I put it into chat a couple times. This is Hershey. Now Hershey is a TrendRider bear signal. This morning it ran down here all the way down to the 93 range, which was really bearish. It's since pulled back. If this one were to run down into the close, it would still be a really nice setup. But that was one I was watching today as well. And then, well, another one along the same lines, consumer staple, well, in the same group here, is Johnson & Johnson. I pointed this out yesterday, stock on the radar. It is triggering a TrendRider bear signal today. I'm just really, anything like this, interest rate oriented, is kind of dangerous ahead of this Fed announcement. Amgen was another one I was looking at here. Amgen, TrendRider bear signal as well. The area here that it needed to break was 112. You can also see it in a descending triangle pattern here. It's broken down to the lower Bollinger Band. The volumes are going to be okay today. I like volumes if you can get them on these TrendRider signals, especially on a reversal type of a pattern we've seen here. You could also, well, no, I was going to say you could also argue a chart pattern here, but yeah, not a very pretty one. Okay, so those are some of the other ones that I've been looking at, and someone brought this up in chat. I wrote it down this afternoon. Thermo Fisher Scientific. It's a decent looking signal. This would be a bull vibe yesterday. So if I show you the bull vibe, I'll bring in the vibe here, and you can see anytime you see an uptrend like that, you know the averages are rising. So you got the averages rising, and a push up through the 7 yesterday triggered that yesterday, and today it's just about triggering a TrendRider bull signal as well, where it's jumping to the upper Bollinger Band. The Bollinger Bands are expanding. You had a decent shot of volume yesterday. We might squeak that out here by the close to get up into that range, which just increases the odds a little bit. You don't always need it. But another nice looking setup too. So whoever brought that up this morning, thanks. I wrote it down. So it's on one of my runner-ups today. Okay, just a quick review of the top three. We had CF. CF, a nice bull vibe signal. All of these are bull vibes. So I bring in the vibe here. You can see all the averages rising, everything we talked about. The next one is Netflix. Same thing, bull vibe, nice technical action here. It's up 3%. This is suggesting this stock could run up again towards the 390 range here. And then SMH. This is an ETF, a semiconductor ETF. Another bull vibe signal pushing up like that. So that's top three. Now, just remember, we got the Fed announcement tomorrow. We don't really care what the announcement is. It'll be interesting to see what the announcement is. It's going to be all about the reaction to see what happens. This could have a lot to do with these stocks that are on the top three today. I just wanted to give you some good technical signals. I know the more you guys see these signals and the more we look at the charts and read the charts that I put out with these, the better you're going to get at spotting these for yourself. And that's the goal, is to, help improve your own trading. All right, everybody. Thanks for your time today. Talk to you a little bit later on. Thanks. Bye-bye.